Greetings, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well and staying healthy. And I just want to say that I cannot believe that it's been a year already. That it was last year in this month of September that I first came to you with my first video blog. And doing that video blog, I was speaking to you about the state of your mind. And it's amazing what a difference a year make. That this year in September, I'm sure, like everyone else, our state of mind is totally different than the state that we were in last year due to this coronavirus as well as the upcoming election this year. So this month, I am coming to you with the subject matter, if you will, on self care and self awareness. And interesting enough, about a little over a week ago now, I was listening to the news and they were speaking about self care and self awareness. And they were saying they was the person who was announcing it. Actually, this person was a guest on the news station. And the young lady was speaking of how the month of September is dedicated as the month of self awareness. I did not know that. So I Googled it, and of course, it pops up. The month of September is the month of self awareness. And it came about through Google search that back in 2017, um, the registrar of the National Day calendar, I believe, declared the month of September as the month of self awareness and self care. Which brings me to a point I want to read a portion to you from my book, Yes, Speak to Our Hearts, Holy Spirit, through our daily practice of listening, recognizing, and using your unlimited gifts and power. And I'm going to be reading to you from page 3. And I'm reading the portion that's speaking or talking about my beloved late parents. And let me say that my parents were born in the years of 1902 and 1918. And they were very loving parents, and they were so good to all of their 16 children. So, page 3 reads as follows. My parents were devoted to all of us and were diligent workers, but they knew the power of being still, slowing down to nurture and care for themselves by taking midday naps, one of my passions also, listening to music or baseball games on the radio, humming, singing, playing the piano, and reading books, along with many other self care activities that brought joy and peace to them. They also knew that self care was not an act of selfishness, but an essential practice for their well being. In turn, this kept them peaceful and connected to the divine source. Well, I too know that in order for us to be peaceful, centered, and balanced, we all must feel our connection with God, our source, and our resource. We must take out the time to be still and create a habit that will form a daily practice of being a meditation and prayer in motion. Reading that right there reminds me also of a 19 I believe it was a 1988 comedy movie that my husband Jaw and I just found to be very funny. And it's called A Fish called Wanda. And in this movie, a particular scene is about when the wife of a lawyer in the movie is having what she called what she call it let's say a a day, a busy day, too busy, too much stuff is going on. In the meantime, her husband, the lawyer, is back at the office, and he is having a great day because of a new case or something that he's about to take on, or something exciting is happening, and he just can't wait to get home to tell his wife about his day. But in the meantime, again, the wife is at home going through whatever she's going through, and she decides to take a break. She decides to have a little me moment. So she retreats back into their backyard. And so she picks up her magazine or book or something. She begins to just settle down and enjoy herself. When her husband comes in and discovers that she's in the yard, and he's so excited, and he comes out to the yard to get into his storyline. But before he can really get into his storyline, the wife just she exaggerates and she turns the page real quickly and says, I haven't had a moment's rest to myself all day. And Jar and I just bust out laughing. It was the way she turned the page, and it was like, I don't have time to hear your story or what's going on. I need a little me time. I need a little self care. And so he recognized that at that moment, and he offers to make her a cup of tea. And of course, she accepted that. And it reminds me of also that Jahi and I sort of like invent or reinvented that scene. So let's say I'm home and I'm having a little self-care and I'm reading my book or my magazine, and Jahi may come into the room and he gets into a little storyline, right? And so when he gets into his storyline, the minute he starts with his storyline, I just immediately do something like this, and we bust out laughing. So that is our way of letting the other person know that we need a moment to ourselves, or we taking a self-care vacation, if you will, mini vacation. And so and then we laugh, and that opens up the space that then after our laughter that I can, accept what he wants to say, or he'll say, okay, it can wait until later. But that is just really the importance of us taking the time to know when we need a time out, to know when we need to have some self-care. And some of you may be wondering, self-care, what does that look like, or what does that feel like, or taste like, or sound like, or any of that? Or more importantly, some of you may be saying, I don't have time for some self-care or some me time. But it is not something that you can think that you need. It is something that is essential. It's something that will bring you into harmony or balance with your true self. It'll give you the moment to step away from the busyness, the routine, the activities, everything that's going on, not only in your little world, but in the world and the minds of other people. It gives a break, it gives a pause that we can then connect with God, the awareness of God, the center of God, which is love. Love is what we can build upon. Or when we take our self care and our self awareness, it connects us back into the oneness of who we are, and what we need to be doing, and how we can react, and how we can respond in a more loving and caring way. And then that is the beauty of the self care. So take the time to take your mini vacation, be it reading a book, taking a nap, taking a walk, um, taking a shower or a hot bath, or just being still and taking a deep breath in and a complete breath out. Self-care, my friends, is the essential order of the day, not just for the month, but every day. Take the time to do some self-care. It is really, really needed. So decide for yourself what you're going to do, what it looks like for you, what it sounds like, what it tastes like, what it feels like, and just do it. Just do it. Do it. Okay? Be well, stay well, and take care of yourself. Peace.